Right, folks, well, joining me on the studio bat phone tonight is the lead singer of none other than Wicked Stone, and that is Mr. Joe Hawx. Welcome to Rockposer.com.
How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Well, obviously, a week ago, the album launch took place down at the Courthouse in Folkestone, and what a fantastic night that was. It was pretty obvious that you guys were having an absolute blast.
Yes, we was. It was an unbelievable night for everyone involved, I think. We had so much fun on the whole day, especially up on the stage, and getting the reaction back from the fans was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
I mean, you can see the reaction of the fact that I guess it was also you were surprised how many people were there that night.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we first decided to put the gig on, we were worried that we were going to get 100 people there, let alone hit 300 people. So, we were just overwhelmed and just having a great time. When we walked out on that stage and realised how many people there was there, and it was, we got told when we walked off the capacity that the tickets had sold, and they said that we sold over 300, and, we just couldn't believe it. It was absolutely brilliant. Fantastic night.
Well, it's great to see the fact that people have made the effort to go out because you know as well as I do that gigging these days, you can't guarantee a crowd by any stretch, regardless who you are.
Oh, exactly. That was one of the main worries for us when we decided to put the gig on, because we had to pay for the venue out of our own money. So essentially, we're taking a huge gamble, and I can assure you, venues aren't cheap to hire, especially the venue that we wanted to do. So it was a huge gamble, and knowing that people don't come out is a big worry. But clearly, we were proven wrong. People do come out, and people do have fun.
Well, people come out because at the end of the day, without stroking your ego too much, so to speak, mate. I mean, you're a fantastic live band. You're everything that you want in a hard rock band. There's loads of energy, good songs, good sound, and I've got to say, certainly for myself, is that twin axe attack. That's the ticket. That's what really absolutely rips the songs out.
The twin axe attack. So you're talking about James and Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's just
they
such a full sound
well
that you guys have got. It is really, it's a very, well, I guess a heavy sound without being a heavy metal band, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's heavy meets classic rock really, because James is massively classic rock blues influenced, and then Ryan is totally the other end of the spectrum. He likes his heavier music, his more sludgy metal doom sort of style, and then when them two clash, it just creates this sound that all of us love, and clearly everyone else involved loves. And it's just what works for us, really. We really do feel like we found our sound in recording this album.
Well, let's take you right back to the beginning. When did you guys first get together as a band? Did you know each other beforehand? Were you mates, or was it one of these things like an ad in the paper and these retrobates turned up?
Oh no, there was no ads or anything like that. We all knew each other. Some of us were friends more than sort of just people we knew. So I was really good friends with James Forrester on lead guitar, and I'd been badgering him for years to try and get a band going, and finally we got round to putting something together. We got Ryan involved. We had a bit of a jam, and we come up with a few songs, and we was using a drum at the time, but unfortunately things didn't work out. We had a bassist as well that came in, but like I say, unfortunately things didn't work out for those guys. And then we decided to get Ollie Smith involved on drums, because I heard that he had become available. So I contacted Ollie and sent him some demos, and straight away he was over at the studio practicing with us because he loved what he heard. And then very shortly afterwards, we added James Amos on the bass guitar. And as soon as the five of us were together in one room, it was strange. Funny, Ollie said this yesterday, actually. We were chatting, and he said it was almost as if the stars aligned. I know it's quite a cheesy saying, but it was almost like the stars had aligned, and the five of us had got together, and we just knew that something special was going to happen. You just kind of know, because we've all been in previous bands before, and we all knew what it was like to be in a band. There's always something in a band that doesn't work,
right.
But with Wicked Stone, everything seemed to work straight away, and it's a great feeling every time we walk in the room together. There's always this love for each other. It's always we're brothers basically. The five of us are brothers, and we'd do anything for any one of us. Look after each other, and it's great. We're just really good friends with brothers, and we just love what we're doing. That's the most important thing. We just love it.
Of course, one thing that helped for exposure for the band, of course, was playing at Rambling Man. That must have been an experience for you.
Oh yeah, Rambling Man Festival. I mean, that wasn't this year. That was 2016 June. Was it June? I think. July. I could be wrong.
It was. I've got to think now. It was July. Yes. Yeah. Because I've been to every one, but I had to think about it then.
We were lucky enough to be given the opportunity to play on the Rising stage at Rambling Man Festival. Now, you got to imagine for us. I mean, that was such an honour. We'd only been on the circuit for not very long at all. I tell you, we'd done probably 2-3 gigs. Before we found out that we'd been offered the slot at Rambling Man. And Rambling Man Festival was actually our 7th gig we ever played together as a live band. So, I mean, that was quite nerve-wracking, but very exciting for all of us. Because, when you start a band, you always have these ambitions that you want to do these things. And when these things start happening, it's just like, hang on a minute, you really need to sort of take this in. And when you're stood on the stage at Rambling Man Festival, on the Rising stage, it's 1:45 on a Sunday afternoon, and you are the only band playing in the whole festival because the other stages haven't opened up yet. And there's hordes of people in front of the stage that don't know who you are. They've just come to the stage because we've been giving out flyers the days before, and come to our group, come and watch us play. When there's that horde of people in front of you, and you start playing that music, and they start clapping along, and you can see people moving, and even some people singing along instantly. You can't imagine the buzz that gives us. It was an absolutely brilliant day, and we only got to play 5 songs on that day, so it was 25 minutes. But you can imagine that just went like a click of the finger, it went in a flash. And the most surreal thing about that day is after we'd finished the set, I think I said over the microphone, I said that we got some free demo discs, 2-track demos that we're going to give out. If anyone's interested, please come and say hello to us, and we'll give you a free demo. So obviously, come off stage, we've gone backstage, we're obviously buzzing, all really happy with the way it's gone. Next thing I know, this security guard comes over to me, taps me on the shoulder and says, "I'm really sorry, mate, but when are you going to give out these free CDs? Because you've got a massive queue of people out of here."
Jeez.
And we're just like, what? What do you mean? And he said, "Well, have a look." So we went and had a look, and we said, right, okay, well, we best go give these 3 CDs out. We only had 200 made, and they were all gone within 10-15 minutes.
Wow.
And then people wanted them signed, people wanted photos with us, and honestly, that was, it's one of the best feelings in the world that you can get, and it's not a shock, really, I think, because we're just all sort of looking at each other going, this is weird, we're just, we're not even a real band, it's like, because you don't feel like you're a real band when it all happens that quick. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a very strange feeling, but it's great. It's a great experience, and for the rest of the day, I mean, we was walking around the festival, obviously watching the other bands, and even people were coming up to us and recognising us, and it's just such a weird feeling.
Unfortunately, I didn't go on the Sunday last year, so the first chance I got to see you guys was when you supported the fabulous Ravenite, of course, at Leo's The Red Lion.
Oh, yes. Yeah, what a gig that was.
You were so right as being the warm-up band. Obviously, Rave and I, good friends of mine, incredibly energetic band on stage, but you guys, Jesus, you warmed that place up.
Well, that's kind of what we aim to do, like, if you come to a rock show, you're not just going to stand there and be still, we want everyone moving, we want everyone having fun, and, we want to be moving and we want to be having fun, so, there's nothing worse for me, if I go to watch a band and they're just stood there playing their instruments and there's no movement and they're not giving anyone anything to watch, to me that's not going to watch a live band.
No.
You might as well just be listening. You might as well just be listening to the CD. If you're not giving the crowd something to watch, that's just the way that I've been brought up through music. I mean, first band I ever saw when I was 8 years old was Kiss. So and Kiss.
That's a pretty good starting point.
Yeah. So with Kiss being renowned for their stage show, and I think I was 8 years old when my dad took me to see Kiss, and you see bands like Alice Cooper, and you go see bands like Metallica, and the stage show is, for me, is a massive part of watching live bands, and I hope to think that one day we can do more and more in Wicked Stone sets. We want to try and give people more, as much pyro, as much smoke, and confetti cannons and lights as we can. Give people what they want. They're paying money. Give them a show.
Well, speaking of shows, of course, still incredibly grateful that you guys played My Fibrefest this year. And what everybody's mentions when they talk about your set at Fibrefest was James and you getting on the bar.
Getting on the bar, yeah, that's
but that was great. That was great because, as you said, that's all part of a show. You put a show on for the crowd. And you got everybody pumped up, and everyone was just loving it.
I'll just let you know that wasn't planned. That's none of that stuff's ever planned. All that kind of stuff. It's all sort of spur of the moment. We just sort of go with it, and if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. But most of the time it goes right, and people enjoy it.
Absolutely. I believe it was it not because James had a new wireless rig or something and he wanted to give it a bit of a test drive?
Yeah, actually, you're right. It was one of the first times that James had used his new wireless system, and I think he just had this, massive influx of energy, and he just wanted to use it. And if he can get on the bar, why not?
Absolutely.
Stop him.
Well, of course, we must talk about the new album. Obviously, you haven't already spoken about the album launch. Obviously, it's a 10-track album, Ain't No Rest. There's been a lot of anticipation by your fans for this release. Obviously, you already had the 4-track EP that came out last year, but now we've got a full album, and what a fantastic album it is too.
Oh, thanks very much. We've been very excited to finally be able to release it. It's been a long time for us because we've been sat on that album waiting to put it out there for so long, and now it's finally out. It's almost like a weight off your shoulders, if you like, but it's a really good feeling as well, because now we're getting the feedback. Everyone can hear it. They can tell us what they like about it. Everyone. And the weird thing for us is like everyone's got different favourite songs. We're getting different messages back saying, "Oh, I really like this song. I really like this song," and we're like, "Oh wow, we never expected." We never expected that.
But that's a good thing. That's the perfect album. That is. The fact that, everyone has a different bite of it, or they'll say this week I like this track the best, but actually next week it's going to be a different track. The album doesn't become boring. No,
absolutely, yeah. I mean, we love every song on the album, but obviously you've got to remember we've been sat on these songs for a long time now, so it sort of becomes a little bit. I don't know what the word is. You do get tired of the songs, but then when it's freshly released, because there's people that you've got to remember, people have never heard this album.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden they're going, "Oh, I really love this," and you're like, "Oh, actually, they really do like it," and then it sort of really sparks it up for you as well.
Yeah. So how many tracks did you actually have written? Because obviously, I say there's 10 tracks on the album.
It was 10 tracks. There was no more extra tracks. it was the 10 tracks that we wrote that went on the album. There was no picking or choosing. We knew when we wrote the tracks that they were the ones going on the album. It was actually a sort of, we recorded the album in stages, so I think we recorded 4 and then another 4 and then the final 2, and that's how we done it. And then obviously we'd said, right, that's what we want to do, 10-track album, and then we'll start working on new stuff, which we are doing already.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah, it's good news.
So, what have you got lined up in the way of more live dates? Have you got stuff booked ready to go? I'm guessing you probably have.
Yeah, so we're heading up to Hard Rock Hell Festival in
Of
Wales.
course you are, absolutely.
Yeah, in next month, and we're playing on the 11th of November. That's going to be good.
That will be good. There are the people behind H.R.H. are a fantastic bunch of guys who I deal with on a fairly regular basis. It's a great venue as well. You'll have a great crowd. I think you will have fun.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to that. So that's good. And then in December, we're actually heading up to the Slade Rooms in Wolverhampton. We're going to play with Mason Hill, Those Damn Crows, and there is another band on the bill as well, but unfortunately I can't remember the name. I do apologise. So, yeah, we're heading up there on the 10th of December. That's the Wolverhampton Slave Rooms. So that should be a really good gig as well. And then we're currently lining up stuff for next year as well. So really looking forward to seeing what happens next in the future for Wicked Stone.
Well, we'll mention quickly, obviously, guys, if you want to check the band out, the website, very easy, it's wickedstone.co.uk. And if you want to trawl onto social media, facebook.com/Wicked Stone Music. Do check the guys out. Joe, an absolute pleasure to talk to you as always, mate. Best of luck with the future for the band. I've got a sneaky feeling that you guys are going to hit the big time.
Well, you've just put a massive smile on my face by saying that, Dan, and thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. It was really good to talk to you too.
Many thanks indeed.
See you, Dan. Bye-bye.